Hello there, and welcome back to the channel. This is Mels Gaming, here with one of the most incredibly special videos I have ever had the privilege to make here on the channel. Now, basically, what happened was, last night, a very good friend of mine called Jumbra actually located a wild haggis on his map. Now, of course, he posted a picture of it, and I was like, oh my gosh, congratulations! And they said, hey, why don't we jump into a VC, and I'll stream me, like, following it around and looking at it. So we did just that, and then Jumbra said, hey, why don't you come and hunt this, so you can get footage and put it together into a YouTube video, because I'm not too worried about actually having one in the lodge, especially, like, right now. Maybe if you find one in the future, then I could have that one and we can, like, do it like that. So we made an agreement that if I find a haggis on my map, Jumbra will come and have that one. But because this one, you know, has been found relatively early on his map, he was more than happy for me to come and film it and hunt it. And please know, I asked Jumbra about 3,000 times if he was sure about this, and he wanted me to come and do it. So I eventually said, okay, let's do this. And as you can see, we actually have Jumbra's POV right here of me stalking the haggis, which is really cool because you can see how big they are compared to the player model, which is just insane. They are absolutely massive, and that was something I really wasn't expecting, was just how big they are. And obviously, we just need to give a massive thank you to Jumbra for letting me do this, because it's really, really awesome. It was a great laugh as well while we were all in VC and I was freaking out about getting close to a haggis because my heart was in my mouth the entire time and I was panicking because this is just one of the coolest things. I never thought I would see the day that a cryptid would be added to the Hunter Call of the Wild. And I know the very first screenshots that people posted, people didn't believe that these even existed. They thought it was like AI or something. And then last night I had the privilege to actually be this close to one. Now, I am going to talk about what kind of information we have about these creatures in this video while we take an amazingly up-close look at this little guy. So, level-wise, it seems that they go from level 1 to level 5. The biggest we've seen is a level 4 at the moment, posted amongst the community. But, you know, because they're making gold sometimes very rarely as level 3s, seemingly making gold as level 4s, I can assume that level 5 is going to be gold/diamond, and they do actually have a diamond score requirement, which we will take a look at later. This is one of my favourite animations, by the way. They have a little animation where they, like, tuck all their legs underneath them and roll from side to side. It's the cutest thing. I absolutely love it, and I cannot tell you how much I was just enjoying being this close to this little guy. I think they're quite adorable, and I was just so happy. It was so cool. But yeah, they do have feed zones. No other zones have been found for them, and I do think that they just have feed zones, kind of similar to other, like, small game, like rabbits and stuff. I think that feed zones is their thing, basically. They do leave tracks, like normal little footprints, they do leave droppings, and they do leave disturbed vegetation. I will show you examples of all of the tracks that they leave in this video, as well as the calls that they make, because they have their own unique calls, which is really, really cool. And all of their own unique animations, like sitting here on the hind legs and using their little hands, kind of almost like a squirrel. Like, they're really fascinating. And the little ear movements. There's a lot of detail, actually, in the animations for these guys. Now, unfortunately, they aren't all, like, smooth at the minute with the animations. You'll notice that it'll go from one animation and then it kind of, like, chops to the next one, kind of not smoothly. Probably a little bit of a bug. This is the kind of first time we've ever had an animal like this in the game. So probably just something that needs to be smoothed out a little bit. But here we go. That call. Isn't it incredible? It's bagpipes. I had heard from a couple of people that they made this really weird noise, but their warning call is straight up bagpipes. Like, it's amazing. And you can see here, I'm running around purposefully trying to get its attention. They're not super sensitive. Like, you can see. Literally rolling around there again as I'm trying to get it to warning call, because I wanted to get plenty of footage of the actual call, because there's not a lot of that out there at the minute, and it's really, really awesome. I think he's just going to do it again here in a second. There you go. It's just amazing. Like, they have their own animation for it. They put their head up in the air to sort of trumpet. Their little tail curls up. It's fantastic. Just fantastic. I mean, that's amazing. And as you can see, they have no animal icon. It's a question mark. So you'll know if you get a call or a track or anything from these guys, because there's not gonna be any icon, just a question mark, which is amazing. I think that that's so cool. Gives me like vibes of the werewolves in the Hunter Classic, where they just cause your hunter mate to completely glitch out. It doesn't tell you what it is, it's just like a picture to start off with, and it's all like staticky. That's just so amazing. I can't get over it. I can't get over it. I love it so much. It's the best thing. I'm so thrilled about this. Like, I am genuinely so, like, just over the moon about this. Oh, they're just so perfect. This is the coolest thing. Like, I am a big mythology and folklore nerd, and knowing about Scottish folklore and the haggis and how significant they are really in all of the like the folklore and stuff about them, it's so cool that they added this as a little like Easter egg on the map for Scotland. I'm just absolutely thrilled. It's just one of the coolest things ever, in my opinion. I hope that this is like just the start, and that we'll see more, let's say, culturally or location specific like cryptids for different maps in the future. I think would be so cool. Like, think maybe Chupacabra or something on a different map, you know, where it would be more in their folklore in that area. I think would be so, so cool. Now here we're going to see, we have the Disturbed Veg, Furry Tawny. So again, they leave Disturbed Veg and you're going to see the footprints. Kind of like badgery type looking footprints, but they are unique. Like, they've got like these longer toes. They're like their own thing, which is so, so cool. Again, if you find them, you're not going to be questioning whether it's a haggis. It's very obviously a haggis, which is amazing. Just, I love all the detail that's gone into this. This is fantastic. Like, what an amazing way to just add something to the map. It's awesome. Now, while we look at the, like, other tracks and zones, I do want to mention, I don't think that there's anything really, like, complicated behind the spawning of these guys. I mean, we've been given a couple of riddles that seem to allude to the second mission in the main storyline. I honestly think you just do that and then go and hunt, based off of what I've seen. I know there's a lot of crazy theories out there right now about secret missions or going to certain locations and stuff, but based on the posts that have been shared by EW, you know, and actually the devs themselves, it basically says go and do mission 2 and then spend a lot of time hunting, as far as I'm concerned. You know, those riddles do seem to be quite obvious in their meaning, you know, hats off to those who do. You won't see one true till after 2, so you won't see a real one until after the second mission, which has a, in quotation marks, haggis in it. Not one of these. It has something that's meant to be a haggis, because they're not meant to be a real animal. And here you can see as well 3 feed zones here in the same location, and 2 of them like on top of each other. It spent 2 of those feed times in the same zone. So it had like 2 zones right on top of each other, but didn't go very far. You know, those 3 zones are very close to each other. So I don't think they actually wander maybe as far as I thought initially. I think they probably stay quite, you know, in quite small areas because they're not very fast when they're walking around. When they run, they can move at quite a quick speed. But when they're just walking around, they're quite slow, chill guys. So I don't think that they actually probably go all that far, but feed, roam, feed, roam, feed, roam seems to be how they move around the map. So I guess it's kind of just, you gotta find either one of their zones, or just be, like, in the right place at the right time, as he rolls around in front of us here, to actually spot one. But finally, I decided it was time to take out the Haggis there with the 22 mag, which, as you can see, I made as blue as possible, because, you know, the channel colours are all blue, so I thought I'd go as blue as possible. But look at this guy's model! The eyes are so detailed, and I wanted to get some pictures here, which is why I just backed up so I could get the camera out without claiming him. Like, the feet detail with its little claws, and, like, the pads on its feet. And then, like, the eyes are, like, almost like Great One-esque eyes. Like a purpley lavender colour. And they're just so big and vibrant and bright. And then you've got those gnarly-looking teeth, which kind of contrasts with the cute appearance, in my opinion, of the rest of it. But those eyes are truly stunning. They are so luminous. And that was something I really noticed when actually following this guy around, was his incredible eyes. But here we go. Our look at a wild haggis in the harvest screen. And also an important note here, because someone asked about it straight away when I said that, you know, I hunted this on a friend's map. This is not ghosted. Jumbra is here on the map. You can see, like, in the chat, he was changing the time and stuff so we could get this guy back into his zone when he spooked off, and, you know, we did all of that. Jumbra was amazing, but this wasn't ghosted. I do not agree with that, so that was not a thing. Jumbra was right there watching this happen, which is why he had the POV footage, which was so cool. But just an amazing animal. An amazing animal. So you can see he is a silver, so the requirements are for silver 36, for gold 48, and for diamond 57. Now, based on the information that we have been given, again through the devs, mainly in the official Discord, you can get more than one haggis. So I'm guessing they're just like a really rare spawn. The developer Ben did say that these guys have a complete, like, unique spawn system to any other existing animal in the game, which is maybe why the missions might be involved from everything they've said, and also lots of time and stuff involved. So maybe there's like a respawn timer or a timer in general, or just maybe spending more time on the map means you're more likely to find one. But I really don't think it's complicated. Ben himself said it's really simple, and it's just probably something we won't necessarily know or work out, but it's not like it's something really complicated that you have to do, otherwise you're never going to see one of these. So basically just go and enjoy Scotland for all of its worth, and you've got a chance at finding one, is what it says to me. But I would do the second mission in the storyline. That does seem to be something that's being referenced a lot. And I mean, it's literally just the second mission in, and it's, you know, a haggis-themed mission, so it all kind of makes sense. And plus, if it somehow wasn't involved, there's no harm in having it done. It's probably better to have it done, and then if it is somehow involved, you've got it done. But I don't give a lot of credence to a lot of the very crazy theories that I've seen, to be honest. It's really cool seeing, you know, what people have come up with, but I've seen all kinds of things, and I honestly think it's pretty simple based off of the riddles that we've had, and like I said, the information that the devs have basically straight up told us. So yeah, I do think that, you know, I will obviously still be looking for a haggis. I'd like to find one for Jumbra and then like film him hunting it and kind of like get my POV of watching him and then record that for a video as well. So hopefully we can do that as well, because obviously I really want to repay Jumbra for this amazing experience too. But if I can do that, that would be amazing. And yeah, just go and see if we can find more Haggis. They do obviously show up in multiplayer, as you will have seen, because, you know, I was on Jumbra's map. So you can find these just wandering around in multiplayer too. And yeah, in that way, it seems like they're just a really rare spawn animal. Like, a really rare spawn small creature on the map. I say small, but like I said, they're actually quite big. You will notice one if it's in your vicinity, I would say. But this is how they look in the lodge. They are actually a plate of haggis. Now, when Jumbra offered me to come and hunt this animal, I said if I hunted it, that this is where it was going to go, on the main wall when you come into, like, my lodge with all my great ones and super rares, since I've redone everything. So it will be staying up there, but for the purposes of showing you guys, I will just bring it down here so you guys can have a look. So basically what they've done is, because it's a cryptid, in the lodge, they have made it so that it is actually a plate of food. It is a haggis. Because if you don't know, haggis is actually a dish. It's a food. And, you know, it's like, there's a bit of a running joke with it amongst, like, the folklore that, you know, obviously you go and you hunt the haggis and that's how you get the actual food, right? And people joke about free-range haggis, and I think that's why they're specifically listed as wild haggis, you know, as opposed to a farmed haggis, which I think is great. And the plate that the actual, like, meat sits on has, like, little drawings of, like, what the model actually looks like. But it does seem that the haggis model does change depending on which one you got. So obviously we got the furry tawny, and you can see it's got, like, the fur on top of it. And I believe from the other pictures I've seen of other people's that does change, like, because there is different fur variations. There's bold calico, there's crested. I know I've seen a charred one. I think it was charred crimson or something like that. So there are different fur varieties, different ones that have more fur. Like, this one's, like, one of the ones that has, I would say, an extreme amount of fur, but you can go from one like this that has a lot of fur all the way down to one that's basically bald. So there's really quite some difference. And it means, you know, it based on the fact that we now know you can get more than one, you could collect different furs. Obviously, trying to get a diamond haggis, I think, is going to be something that is going to be a huge thing amongst the community. I mean, that's basically going to be a super rare, in all fairness, I would think. So, yeah, there's a lot going on about these little guys in the community right now. A lot of hype, a lot of theories and stuff, like I said. But if you are sat here right now watching this video and you want to go and get a haggis, my best advice would be go and do at least to that second mission, because I do truly believe that that is involved, based on everything that we've been told. And I know there's probably going to be people in the comments that say, but this person said that they hadn't done the missions. I think there's some confusion amongst people about, like, what that's meaning when people are asking them if they've done the missions. Like, probably thinking either, have you finished the missions, or were the haggis in the missions? To be clear, this is not a mission animal. It's not in the mission thread. I have a video on the channel doing all of the main storyline missions. I will link that in the description if you want to go and see that. But I do believe that somehow that's involved in triggering their spawn, because, like I said, the riddle saying, you won't see one true until after #2. Hats off to those who do. There's a hat in the second mission, if you couldn't guess. And then it just basically says there's no rhyme nor reason, nor time nor season, just basically time. Go and hunt, that's how I read it. So, I know a few people wanted me to give my opinion on that in this video, so that's my opinion. Just do that second mission and then go and hunt. And if you get lucky, you might find one. But I do think there's an element of luck as well, because they probably can spawn anywhere, looking at where people have found them, like in all different parts of the map. I do believe that so far all the ones that have been found are above the loch, but basically I think they can pretty much be anywhere. I wouldn't be surprised if they can be below the loch, and just because it's brushier, harder to see something like this, you know, maybe if it's lurking down there in a hard to find spot. So I wouldn't necessarily rule those spots out either, but yeah, it's an amazing addition to this game. And again, a huge shout out to Jumbra for allowing us to come and hunt this animal, to get this invaluable footage, and just have an amazing time. Like I said, I personally had a really fun night last night with Jumbra and a couple of other people that were with us in the call while we were hunting this thing. You know, we were having a laugh, and it was, for me, it was really lovely as a personal experience. So thank you to Jumbra and to everyone else who was present in that call, because it was amazing and you were all just fantastic. It was fantastic. But that is going to be it for this video before I ramble on any more about how awesome this was. I really hope you have enjoyed a close-up look at the haggis and getting hopefully some information about it. And yeah, I will see you in the next video. Thank you.